How's it, everybody? Celtic here. We are back for another Dokkan Battle video. In today's video, we got a special one for you. I know many of you guys were asking for the clear of the new Grids Tour fights against the Jiren without any of the new characters here. So I decided to put out this video for all of y'all. So we are not running a single character in this team from past year 10 anniversary. So hopefully, right, this will help many of you guys out who don't have many of the GDC characters or any of the year 11 characters, right? So we will be using items for this for obvious reasons. But it's still going to be a challenge. It's not going to be easy, regardless. So, we are using a Ghost Usher for this for this turn here. Now, the play here, the reason we're using the Ghost Usher specifically on this turn, is because of the Frieza. What we're going to do is basically combine our two turns that we'll have with Frieza with Ghost Usher. That way, we can ensure that we attack lower him enough that everybody else can kind of deal with the rest of what Jiren is doing. It doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. In fact, there's some very good chances we could end up in a bad situation on those turns with it, but we'll make do. Hopefully we can pull this off here. There we go. All right, we get an additional super. So the key here is being able to place Goku in slot 2 where he can get the most of his attacks. And we want to keep Frieza in slot 1, or at least on this rotation, because we need the 2 turns of his attack lowering. That will be that'll be the best way to make this happen, strategy-wise, right? Because if we float him, it puts us in an awkward position on that turn in between when he shows up again, right? Where we may not have the Ghost Usher available, and right, like with the attack lowering and a Whis, most of these other characters should be able to handle Jiren's AoE. Frieza won't be able to, so that's kind of why we're doing what we're doing here. Excellent. Okay. Yeah. We also, so the year 8 Spirit Bomb here, you can also use the Z Duo Spirit Bomb here, but I think you're cutting into a lot of your damage here. Like if you were going to use the year 10, if you were going to use the Z Spirit Bomb, I would probably replace the Goku here, the AGL Goku. I don't think he's all too probably necessary for the team that we're running. I mean, giant form clutch and all that, but yeah, we could probably get away with having him be the replacing him with the Z Duo, and then just playing it out so you can ensure that you get the damage you need to proc the Spirit Bomb. But I mean, we decided not to for this one. Having just the revive should be more than enough. So yeah, we got our Whis active here, and so with that, everybody else, I think Goku probably takes some damage here since he can't dodge. Oh, no, actually double digits, very nice. Okay, so we let all of these guys do their attacks. So the friend, though, so the reason the team is set up the way it's set up is so that we can run a friend Daima Goku. Absolutely, in order for this run to work, you need the Daima Goku, right? A lot of people like having the 4s, but I think having Daima Goku is going to produce more of the attack values we need. Plus, the final phase, our intent is to have a Whis active in the final phase, while we proc the Vegito active. So a Whis with Vegito, he should be able to tank Jiren's normals. It should be enough damage reduction for that, which means we should be able to we should be fine, right? That's the idea. All right, so with the Whis, I think we can tank this. Yeah, double digits, very nice. I mean, even without the Whis, they would live that. I know that. I've tested that. There we go. But we do get the EX Super. So getting Goku's EX Supers is also crucial to making sure that this works. Um, there we go. Excellent. One more. No. Okay. All right. So you can see how much damage that did, how much that helped with. So we did really need that. And then we get the attack with Goku. Excellent. Alrighty. Okay, so now for this turn, we're going to float the Frieza. We're going to float the Frieza, and then we're going to... yeah, we do still have a Whis active. We're going to use our Guide Robo again for that extra attack lower, and then grab this. There we go. All right, we get the full 24 key, and we get that with Goku. Once again, imperative that we put Goku in slot 2, since that's where he gets his greatest attack bonus. Let's grab that. It's actually better that we get his 12 key. Yeah, so the attack lowering that comes from the Guide Robo, plus the Usher turn really do help make this run work. Because remember that Guide Robo does, I probably should have mentioned it in the last turn, but the Guide Robo does drop Jiren's attack by 66%, which is very helpful in this fight. So you combine that with Frieza's attack lowering, and then it becomes manageable for these older units. This is a tough fight, right? Like even this, like things still got to go our way. There's no guarantee. Even with the Whis on those other turns, like if we use all of our items here in the first phase, that puts us at a big disadvantage in the next phase. So it's not as simple as just use items, and I do kind of like that, right? You'll see a lot of the no item clears. I'm sure you've seen them already, right? And people have got 4 of the new 11th anniversary units. Talk about how they got an easy no item run. It's like, no, you didn't. It took you 100 tries to get that, first off. Second, yeah, of course, you're going to have a much easier time with the 11th anniversary LRs, but not everybody is fortunate enough to have all the 11th anniversary LRs. So that's why we do our videos like this. So. All right, now here's the key. We have to get we have to kill this turn. If we don't kill this turn, it's game over. So let's do that. There we go. Yeah, I don't like the idea of burning these actives right now, but I think it's the only way to ensure victory here. So let's pop Goku's active. All right, and no revive Spirit Bomb either. That's a little scary. Okay. Okay, let's do that. And then we'll float the Daima Goku. Okay, so hopefully... There we go. Alright, we get the hits. Hopefully this is enough for us to survive here. Alright, with the attack line, it was enough for everybody on this rotation live, which I knew, right? Based on previous tests, right? Like, we've used all 3 of these in our no item run, so we knew we didn't need the Whis for this setup here for this turn. It was just protecting the AGL Goku over there on the last turn. And, of course, the super. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. We don't want to count. We needed that counter. Okay, oh, and that's right, Jiren's attack. So that's the other tricky part about this. You have to remember that Jiren lowers your attack every turn. So these guys just got attack dropped, even though they built up a lot of attack last turn. And I'm realizing now I don't think they've taken enough hits either to survive. Dude. Maybe we should have used that Whis and moved them onto... Maybe we should have used that Whis and moved them into the first slot, because they were not going to get the revive. Okay, so look at that. Even with the EX skill, we only hit 60 million because of that attack load. That's such a ridiculous mechanic. Why did they give him that mechanic? There we go. Okay, but it does look like we still might have enough to take him down. It's going to depend... 30 million there on the 12 key. Oh, just barely enough. Come on. Yes. Okay. So we did get it with that third super. That was scary. That would have been bad if we didn't finish there. But we did. Okay, so and that's what I mean. It's tricky even with the items. So perfect. All right, so we make it into the Jiren turn, and perfect because now we actually have our giant form here. So we can use our giant form and ensure that there's no super. Not that I'm too particularly worried. I do think Vegito can still live the super with the Whis active. But, I mean, better we don't have to take it at all. There we go. Excellent. Yeah, so this isn't dealing any damage, and I didn't expect it to. It's just literally so we can get rid of Jiren's super. And there goes the super on our giant form, and it does absolutely nothing. I love it. But yeah, I mean, Jiren's super is something crazy, because it's like 4.2 million, I think, which doesn't sound like a lot, but remember, it ignores 100% of your defense. It's 4.2 million, but it's ignoring 100% of your defense. So that makes it crazy. Like, that's just ridiculous. Like, I don't know. I don't like this fight particularly. I don't think it's particularly fun. I think it's very gimmicky. Not to say that it's not challenging. It is challenging, but I mean, the reality is, right, it basically means, right, no units without high damage reduction are usable here. And I mean, if we want to be okay with using items in this stage, then fine. We can talk about units that can survive with 40% DR, then fine. But otherwise, I don't think it's something we should care too much about. All right, so let's do that. Okay. And let's pop the Vegito. Excellent. That worked out quite nicely. All right, so let's use the Whis now. Let's grab that. Okay, we'll get all of that, right? So, and then that. So with the Whis, I don't think anybody here is going to take any damage, right? Yep, Vegito doesn't take any damage here on the active turn. Actually, I don't think the active turn would have made any difference because it just gives him guard, which doesn't affect critical hits, right? It's just the damage reduction. So actually, yeah, it's the damage reduction that's protecting us right now. All right, we're not doing as much damage as I thought we would, even with 2 stacks. But it's also a shame. That's also like, I feel like they also made it so you couldn't cheese this with Vegito as well, because you see, like, he barely attacks, but those attacks are broke. But I mean, it's probably a good thing that he doesn't, because if he did, right, that would just be plain miserable for other units if you weren't trying to do something crazy like this. All right, so we get the 2 supers. So obviously Vegito's in front, so he can get the supers off and counter a little bit better after his super. There we go. Okay, we get some damage. Like, look at that. There's only 2 attacks post super. Like, what is this? There we go. And then, so now we get Gogeta here. Excellent. And we get another super. Okay, so I mean, we're still doing pretty good damage. And I think, I mean, I guess it's not like he doesn't have a little bit HP, right? He's got 800 million HP, which is the equivalent of the Daimo phase, but it's honestly not that bad since it's just him that you're facing here. He also has low damage reduction, which means your attacks can hit decently hard enough here against him compared to other bosses. There we go. 60 million on the Goku. Nice. Excellent. All right, we get another super. Okay, so if we can kill on the next turn, I think we'll be alright here. Alright, there we go. I mean, we did a decent chunk of damage here. Alright, so No active skills to save us. No revive. Alright, that didn't do nothing. Although I expected it to do nothing, considering we didn't use Goku at all. Alright, but with the yeah, we just need a rainbow orb, right? Okay, let's grab that. There we go. And then we'll get the full damage reduction here. So Gogeta can't get touched here. And if we're lucky, I can't tell if that super is the second or the third one. But he is doing, actually, he's doing two. So even if it did, look at that. Goku taking that. Very nice. All right, 24 mil. Okay. So it's a shame we gotta cancel one of those supers. So that's crazy because his supers are scripted. It is a good thing we brought Gogeta. It is a good thing we brought Gogeta because since the supers are scripted, that Goku that we used, the giant form we used last turn, actually made Jiren do 2 supers this turn. That is insane. It is actually a very good thing that we brought Gogeta. Excellent. So we attack break one of them, and now we get the second counter. Would have been nice to get both counters, because that would actually put us in a really good position here. Oh, that doesn't look like it's going to be enough. 40 mil on these guys. Is that enough? With some crits, maybe? No. Oh. Oh my goodness. Are we not going to be able to get this? Are we not going to be able to get this? Wow. Oh, okay, maybe we shouldn't have ended up using that giant form. Well, but then we would have action broke the super there. I mean, that actually played to our favor. Unintentionally, that played to our favor because it allowed us to counter at least one of the supers. Oh, okay, I think we're done for. Okay. I think we're, and he doesn't even give us any orbs either. Why? No rainbow orbs. Because Gogeta's only got, what is it, 50% damage reduction? And we have no item active. We are in a really bad position here. Oof, 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 ooh. 400k. Ooh, we're dead. Oh, yes, we broke the dodge. Yes. Oh, my goodness. Clutch dodge there at the end. Oh, my goodness. I'm glad I gave my Gogeta a little bit of dodge. All right, I got to give the dodge build credit there. Although it's not a big credit. I just didn't give him... Yeah, I just didn't give him crit. I gave him dodge instead. Additionals and dodge. So it ended up paying off. Sweet! Okay, so there you go. No new units versus the new Jiren fight. That was still a challenge, and so I don't like this fight, but I do like the fact that the fight can still provide a challenge if you're using items. Like, that is something I enjoy because we had to be strategic about that. That's the cool thing, right? We couldn't just slap 2 Whis and call it a day. We had to actually be strategic in how we did it, and it ended up working out in our favor for the most part. So very, very happy with that. So hopefully you guys found this guide helpful. I know many of you guys were asking for how to beat it without any of the new units, because my last guide, the no item one, did show us using multiple of the new units. So I figured get one of these out here to help you guys out for those who don't have the new units. Obviously, if you have the new units, if you have the GDC characters, it's significantly easier. But I thought, why not do no new units and take it a step further and no units past tier 10. So hopefully you guys found this guide helpful. Guys, that's it for the video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know, what team did you use to clear the Jiren fight? If you are still stuck, let us know if you find this guide helpful. As far as the items are concerned, you can easily pick up these items by running the Bulma event in the growth tab, especially the Guide Robo. You can get 10 of them or so every couple of runs. It's very, very helpful. So try that out if you need those items. So that's it for the video, guys. If nothing else, thanks for watching. and aloha.